Hey guys, welcome back. This is the market review for Bitcoin for September 22nd, 2022. And before we jump into the trade setups, I wanna put your focus on the economic calendar for yesterday. And as you can see, for US dollar, there was no high impact news event. So different to Wednesday, where we had FOMC. As you can see here, we had the high impact news events, which tempered with price a bit. We don't have any high impact news events for US dollar on September 22nd. There are a couple for British pound and I think that's Swiss franc, and yeah, but nothing for US dollar, only this medium impact news event, the unemployment claims. But that was 2:30 p.m. Let's see if we can see it in price. 2:30. Right. 2:30. No, it's not too impactful. Let's see. 2:30. 2:30. No, we can't see it in price really. So not too high of an impact. Okay, so now let's shift the focus to the price action. First, yesterday's price action was basically just a rebalancing of all the imbalances which formed here on the quite fast move down after FOMC. As you can see, first fair value gap here in the 50-minute, which got rebalanced, another one up here which got rebalanced, and there are a couple one on lower time frames up here. All these got rebalanced, and eventually price tapped into the last one up here with this run up at just 5 minutes past 7 p.m. So yesterday's price action was basically just a rebalancing of all these imbalances. And yeah, with that said, let's get right into the setups and get into journaling some good setups. Okay, first I just wanna talk about one setup on a 15-minute, which is right here, which is quite nice to look at, but it took quite a while to play out. And I'm just gonna draw up the fib tool, and then maybe you're gonna see it yourself. From this low to this high, and you notice this downwards close candle, this bearish candle, which price reacts from here. It's not the cleanest, like it's not a perfect line, but it's quite clean. It's very close. And there is a fair value gap right here. Hopefully I can draw that out for you. There. So we have this plus the order block, and price reacts off of it and then starts to move higher. And this all happens in a discount. But granted, this took quite a while. Like if we look at it from here to here, it's like 9 hours. That's a long time. That's a very long time to wait for your setup. But it's not a bad setup because we have the order block, which price, yeah, it's not perfect as I said, but it reacts off of it. Like it just dips a little bit into it. And further we have the fair value gap right here, which it fills, and then it starts to move up higher. So that's just one setup on the 15-minute I wanted to talk about, because it's quite a big setup which took like half the day to form. And now we can go into the lower time frames, and the first one is on the 3-minute, and it's again around 2 a.m. in the morning. So for Bitcoin, it seems like 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning is quite a good time for setups to form. And there's actually two setups next to each other. First one is this, second one is this. And The second one, we're gonna look at that on a 5 minute because it's a little bit cleaner. And the first one is what we're gonna talk about first. Let me draw out. We had a market structure break right here. This high took out this and this high, leading to a market structure shift. Then we can look, okay, is there a fair value gap? Yes, there is, right in here. And price respects this order block, this downward closed candle, this bearish candle. Again, it's not perfect, just like the trade setup on the 15 minute I just showed you. It's not perfect, but it's quite close to perfect. And considering at 2 AM we don't have that much volume in the market, it's quite a nice setup. Oh, and I forgot the fib tool. Here you go. So again, we have a market structure break, then we pull out our fib tool, and we want price to go into a discount. It does so. While being in a discount, or while going into the discount, it fills the fair value gap, which sits just around, like just in the discount, and then it bounces off this order block right here, and then it starts to move higher to attack these highs, like here, like this high and this high. And yeah, no, maybe there's a fair value gap on a lower time frame, but I'm not gonna bother right now. So because then here is another setup which then attacks the price further up. So that's the first setup. And now I want to jump to, I mean, it's visible on the 3 minute. If we draw that out right here, first the fib tool, then okay, we had a market structure shift, market structure break, however you want to call it. And you even can see the fair value gaps on the 3 minute right here, which price dipped into. And yeah, even this like order block, price respects the high of this quite well, but I believe it's better visible on the 5 minute. Oh yeah, on the 5 minute this is visible. That the closes of these candles, or the bodies of these candles, respect this order block. Like these two consecutive down close candles, these act as order block, and price respects them very, very cleanly. Like the line from the high of this, or the open of this candle, and the close of this candle, that's just a nice line. So again, we have shift in market structure, price going back down into a discount, going into a fair value gap. A fair value gap is a little bit different here, it's something like this on the 5 minute, and further it respects this order block. Very nice setup. And then as we're on a higher time frame now, and we already had like this high broken, so we can look to the left. Okay, what's the left? What we can go for first, there is, I mean, actually this has been filled with this one. Oh, there's a little fair value gap right here, but we don't care about this right now. I mean, ultimate target is this fair value gap up here, which price got to quite after. So I mean, targets for this trade entering here, first one, the obvious one, is this one. Like all these highs are targets on our way to this fair value gap up here. And as you can see, price ran up into it, touched the fair value gap, and then started to consolidate. And eventually it went further up, and I think in the evening, yeah, it fully filled it. So that's that. That's a very, very clean setup. Again, on the 5 minute. I have to say I like the 5 minute. Setups do form quite cleanly on the 5 minute. So So, okay, let me clean that and we jump to the next one, which is a setup on the 1 minute, and it's after the 9:30 market open. It's also it's quite a cool setup. We are as you can see, we are already in a downwards trend right here, and then we have the 9:30 open right here. Like there, volume is introduced into market. We have a little bit of volatility. As you can see, price jumps up and down a bit and then eventually starts to break down. And then we have first move down, price goes up. I think it goes above this high here to go into this fair value gap which formed here. Let me see, 19,090, 0.54, 0.03. Yeah, it just went into this fair value gap prior to heading back down, heading further down. And this is where our next setup formed. From this high to this low, we pull out the fib tool, and as we see, there's a fast move down, leaving behind a fair value gap right here, fast move, and again, we also have a market structure shift right here, or market structure. It's actually not a market structure break or anything, it's just a continuation. So I'm actually gonna remove that, but this low is broken. We continue the downwards trend. We create a fair value gap. Actually, let me pull that out a bit further so you can see it better. Price then moves back up to fill this fair value gap, moves into a discount, and then eventually starts to go further down, taking out this low and attacking this low right here with the fair value gaps right here. Like there's, if I zoom in here, you can see there's a fair value gap, there's a fair value gap, there's a fair value gap. So that's one big imbalance right here, below this low. So that's always a good target. If you see a fair value gap below low, prices definitely want to go down there. So price fills this, and then it starts to reverse a bit. But this was our setup on the 1 minute. It's very clean setup. It's a continuation setup, so we're already in a downtrend, going further down, having a very good target right here with this low and the imbalances below. So that's just a very clean setup. And then I think that's all the setups for the morning session. And we jump to the 5 minute and go to the first setup after lunch. After lunch there were actually a couple of good setups forming. And the first one is like, I mean, right here. And the reason for that, I mean, it might not look the best at first sight, but let me show you what I see and why I think it's a good setup. So we had that up move, then price went back down, and then we broke this high, which is a market structure shift. From here on we are in a upwards trend and we are bullish, so we want to look for longs. While breaking the market structure, it left behind a fair value gap right here. And we again have all the ingredients for a good setup. We have a market structure shift, so we are in an uptrend now, we're looking for longs. Price reverses back down into a fair value gap in a discount and then starts to push higher. Again, price respects this candle right here, which is an order block. As you can see, it just touches it and then it shoots off. This is also visible, I mean this setup is also visible on the 3 minute, but it's not as cleanly visible. Like it's a little bit different. And that's why I chose to show it on the 5 minute. Because again, I mean you can see it. You have this low, price shoots up, breaks this high, which leads to a market structure shift. The fair value gap is a little bit different here. It's a little bit smaller, but still same thing. we are in a discount, we fill the fair value gap, price respects this order block right here, and then it starts to shoot off, attacking this high, and then it goes for refill, which we're already on the 3 minute. You can see it very clearly here. It's also a very clean setup. So first entry for the upwards trade would have been here. Price takes out this high, and while taking out this high, it leaves behind, first this fair value gap, which is filled on the down move, and then another fair value gap, which is, okay, let me select that, which is all the way down here. And if we pull up the fib tool, this is in a discount. Actually, we could look at a different fib tool. Let me see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you see it better here. If you see, or if you look, sorry about that, price moves down into the fair value gap. The fair value gap is situated exactly at the 0.786 area. This area is the optimal trade entry area, which ICT teaches. As you can see, the bodies of the candles respect the 0.786 retracement price or line, whatever you want to call it. So that's an optimal trade entry with a fair value gap in exactly that area where we want it. So that's a very clean setup, and as you can see, the fib targets also hold for this. Like this candle reaches the one, what is that, 19,290? It goes to 19,299. So it goes to that. ICT also shows how you can use the fib tool, like with the minus, I don't know, like 0.5 level and whatnot, as target prices. I don't use them. I don't know, I just found out it's not working that well in Bitcoin or in crypto, for me at least. Maybe it does work for you, but yeah. Clean trade setup on the 3 minute, very nice. And it's actually, as I said, it's like a refill. Like first setup here, and then another setup follows exactly after it. And actually, there's a third one right next to it. So, actually, wrong one. Here we are. And actually, the 3 minute is better. Sorry about that. But we had our first setup on this retracement, like shifting market structure, we're in an upwards trend, we want to look for longs, price goes down, fills this fair value gap, respects that order block, goes up. Okay, breaks this high, we're still in an uptrend, price goes back down, fills this fair value gap, which is in the optimal trade entry area, and goes up again, breaks this high, still an uptrend, and then price goes down once more to refill, and again we have price going into a discount, price filling this fair value gap right here, it doesn't even go all the way down to this order block. So like we are already in an uptrend, price just goes down into a discount, fills this fair value gap, gets some more liquidity, and then it really shoots off. Then it really goes further into it, like further up. On the 5 minute you can see like it touches this candle with a high of 19,033, and the low coming in at 19,031. So it touches this candle acts as order block, it touches it and it goes further up. And then, as I said, it really starts to move up quickly, taking out the morning high, or morning highs, however you want to call it, and then attacking like all the imbalances we saw in here. So that's all the trade setups for yesterday, which I found. And what's funny, like we had, after lunch, we have like 3 consecutive trade entries, with the first one being this, up, down, into fair value gap, boom, breaks this high, goes back down, fills a fair value gap in here, goes up, goes back down, fills a fair value gap, and then actually really shoots off. So you had 3 entry possibilities to catch this move, which is just very nice, very clean price delivery. And yeah, I really liked yesterday's price movement. And then in the morning we also had the 2 consecutive ones, like with the first one being this one and then followed by this one. So you could have, like, there were 2 entry possibilities to catch the morning move, or the early morning move, the night move, however you want to call it, to catch this move. And then there were 3 entry possibilities to catch this move up here. And maybe there are, like down here, like on this downwards trend on this little one, maybe there's a trade possibility or like a setup on the 1 minute, but it's so late, like it's after 7 p.m. and usually there's not enough liquidity there to form like clean setups. So as I said, I didn't find any good setups in there. But maybe you find something. If you find a good setup, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I think that's all from my side. And if you wanna, I don't know, talk about ICT's teachings in crypto, like if they work, just let me know in the comment section below. I'll look at all the comments. Like I'm a very, very small YouTube channel, so I have time to look at all the comments. And yeah, if there's anything else you want to know from me or whatnot, just let me know. And yeah, that's all from my side. I wish you a nice day. I hope you can use these setups for your own studying. And yeah, I hope to help you. I hope you have a nice day, and I hope I see you again. Be safe. Bye.